In the cold silence beyond the black wall, strange rumors spread. Of a commander, not born, but forged. Of a warrior whose blade left trails of never-ending pain. Of a man who bleeds his enemies without lifting a finger. His name? Vorian. And no, he's not your average silent brooder like Jon Snow. This guy skipped the brooding and went straight to business. Pure mayhem, packed in armor, swinging a blade that might as well have been bathed in wildfire. If Westeros had gym rats, Vorian would be their king. Let's dive into this mysterious commander that turned the meta on its head and left the Night's Watch wondering why they didn't recruit him first. Vorian was no lordling. He was the Iron Sentinel of the Black Wall of Volantis. Stubborn, brave, and a little bit insane. Why insane? Because legend says he dove into the fiery waters of a volcano to retrieve a fallen sword, came out alive, just some burns, and a weapon hot enough to melt Valyrian steel. If that doesn't scream Targaryen-level crazy, I don't know what does. Picture King Arthur pulling a sword from a stone. Now add lava, smoke, and 1,000 enemies waiting outside. That's Vorian. If he had shown up in Westeros, even Cersei might have dropped her wine. Vorian used to be exclusive, locked behind events like the Wheel. But 1 year later, he's finally in the shop. For 1,000 black diamonds, you get 6 medals. To make him gold, you'll need 330 medals. Awakening him to 4 stars, that takes 600 upgrade tokens, which also come in packs. 200 black diamonds for 6 tokens. If you're patient, you can use coupons on packs or wait for events. During Summer Dance, you can roll dice and hope the RNG gods bless you with Corolla tokens. Gather 150 of those, and you can buy 1 Vorian medal in the Corolla shop. You'll either be rich, lucky, or both. Choose your path. Vorian's skills are brutal and elegant. He boosts infantry health dramatically, adds total attack, and brings a 50% damage bonus when your infantry fights cavalry. That alone makes cavalry players cry. But it gets better. His passive ability blocks 10% of normal troop damage. His troops have a 20% chance to bleed the enemy during normal attacks. After every 3 attacks, they trigger a bleed that lasts 5 seconds. And if he leads the line, his troops get a 40% increase in critical chance. Every time they land a critical hit, they reflect 50% of the damage taken, and it stacks up to 5 times. This man doesn't fight, he counterfights. Once you awaken Vorian, he becomes even more terrifying. All infantry lines bleed the enemy for 5 seconds after every 3 normal attacks. They reduce healing too, 10% without a weapon, up to 50% with a fully maxed one. His troops get a massive boost in crit chance, 50% base, 70% with weapon. The damage they deal when critting jumps to 180% or even 250%, and every critical hit gives them a reflect shield, bouncing 50% of troop damage back at the attacker. This turns him into a fortress that not only defends, it punishes. Now let's talk about the Ember Greatsword. When you equip it, Vorian gets 30% infantry attack and 7.5% total health. Fully upgraded, that jumps to 60% attack and 15% health, plus a 5,000 army size bonus. The weapon also enhances his awakening skill, Bleeds now reduce healing by 50%. His crit rate jumps to 70%, and crit damage hits 2.5 times the normal amount. The reflect effect? Still there, still terrifying, stacking up to 5 layers. It's like giving Jon Snow a chainsaw in the Battle of the Bastards. Vorian shines in infantry bleed formations. Pair him with Sonara, who multiplies normal attacks. Add Darren, who deals extra damage to bleeding enemies. Bring Jon Snow to boost critical hits. That trio? Devastating. He also fits perfectly in Weirwood Trials and Training Grounds. Rebel leaders? Not his strongest area, unless you lack other DPS options. But in real-time PvP, or UC, he's a menace. Do not, I repeat, do not pair him with Jaime. Weakness attacks kill the crit and bleed synergy. Instead, let Vorian do what he does best. Punish every attack your enemy dares to make. At the tavern, Vorian brings solid value. He gives 5 stars in aptitude and finance. That means more speed-ups and gold. He adds 4 stars in combat rate. Not bad, but not game-changing. If you already have him, great. But don't get him just for the tavern. He's built for war, not for wine tasting. Vorian is the definition of meta-defining. His strengths: massive bleed damage, high crits, reflect damage, strong infantry counters, and perfect synergy with commanders like Sonara, Jon, and Darren. He turns infantry into a relentless, self-sustaining force. His weaknesses? He's expensive, weak in rebel leader fights, unless you lack other options, vulnerable to female disarm, and his tavern stats won't blow anyone's mind. But if you're building a bleed setup, he is the heart of it. The sword in the storm, the one commander to bleed them all. And that's the story of Vorian, the bleed king of Westeros. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, bleed the subscribe, and reflect that bell so you never miss an update. Got questions, combos, or salty stories from battle? Drop them in the comments below. I read them all, even the ones written in Valyrian. Until next time, may your crits be nasty and your wallet survive.